Alrighty, welcome everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all doing? Welcome to today's live training. I hope you all are doing fabulously. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you all are doing well. Today's training, we're talking about pricing and specifically raising your pricing, asking for more, charging more, and everything that goes into that. So if you've ever tried to raise your rates in the past and it hasn't worked and you haven't been able to successfully raise your rates, or whether you're just trying to figure out what you should be charging and what is the going rate, and maybe you're still trying to figure all of that out, you're going to love today's training. So if you are joining me, if you are hopping on this live, say hello, let me know you're here, give me a wave, let me know you can hear me and see me and that we're all good to go, that the tech is all working in our favor today. Let me know where you're joining from. Yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. Did you guys do anything for that? Did you make anything special for dinner? Did you do anything different? Or was it just a regular run-of-the-mill Wednesday for you? Let me know. As I'm waiting for you guys to hop on here, again, I want to make sure you guys can hear me and see me before I hop into the training. Welcome, welcome. And the other thing we're going to talk about today is some of the common mistakes we make when figuring out our prices. So let me know what stage you're in. If you already have pricing, you already know what your program is going to, you're already charging people for your program, you already have clients. Number two, you're still figuring out your program, you're still figuring out your packaging. Or number three, you have a price and you're thinking about raising it. So let me know which category you guys are in. And let me know if you can hear me. And then once I see that we're good to go, we can hop into the training. Sometimes there's a delay with my live streaming, so let me pull up my other tab. Hey, Dee. Okay, I can see you guys on here. Hey, Adrian. Awesome. Love it. You can hear me. All right, so let me know where you guys are at. Do you actually have pricing? Let's do it this way. Let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how confident you are right now with the price that you charge. Let me know. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, I'm just winging it. I'm just totally guessing, and I don't even feel confident about the price that I picked. And 10 being, I love my price. I'm totally over the moon about it. I'm 10 out of 10 confident. This is exactly what I should be charging, and I just feel really good about it. Rank yourself. Where are you at on that scale right now? Because that'll help me understand where to take this training and what you guys need most from today's training. So I'm excited. Let me know what you think. 1 to 10, where are you at on your price? 1 being totally winging it, not confident at all. 10 being, I love my price and I think it's perfect. I've got it completely nailed down, locked and loaded. And no matter where you fall on the scale, there's somebody that's right there with you. So there's going to be people on all ends of the spectrum. So it doesn't matter if you have a different number than somebody else. There's somebody else with the same number as you. Alrighty. But the purpose of today's training is really talking about raising your prices, because I've yet to find a coach that's overcharging for what they do. So we're going to dive into that today. If you're worried about your pricing, if you're not sure if you're overcharging, you're going to leave the training feeling way more clear about your charging, what you're charging, what it's worth, all those things. And I'm going to address for you guys today also some of the main challenges that you're probably experiencing and what to do about them when it comes to actually getting people to buy at a higher price point. Because when it comes to money beliefs, right? Beliefs around our pricing. This is a really common thing. People tell me all the time that, my audience is different. My offer is different. The people that I know, they are not going to spend that kind of money, right? There's so many negative limiting beliefs around money and abundance, right? And you may be aware that you're having some of them. So we're going to talk about it today. Either you think that your offer isn't worth a premium, it's not worth a premium price, or you think that your offer is worth a premium price, but you don't think that the right people, the people that you're finding are the right people for that, or that people can't afford it, or that they just won't pay, right? This was my biggest fear. When I first started making the leap, when I first started going into high ticket, it was that same fear. People aren't going to want to pay $1,500, thousands of dollars in the beginning. I think I was charging $1,500 when I started. But I remember this being a big block for me. And I hear it so often with coaches, right? And most of the time, the people that are our clients, they're not these trust fund babies. They're not sitting on piles of cash, right? So most people don't just throw thousands of dollars around insignificantly, right? Most of the people that you're working with are normal people, just like you and me. So if that's the case, then why are these normal human beings, just like you and I, investing $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 to work with a coach? We're going to talk about that today. So if you're terrified that people aren't going to pay, or that you're going to try to raise your rates and charge a higher ticket price and it won't work, if you are afraid to hear the word no, if you're afraid that someone is going to reject you, if you're afraid that when you get on a consult that someone is going to be like mad at you or judge you for having a high ticket price, we're going to talk about all of that today. And this is going to be a really huge shift for you today, this call. Who's excited for that? Let me know in the comments if you guys are excited to talk a little bit about some money beliefs, pricing, abundance, and charging what we're worth. Let me know in the comments. Who's here for it? Give me a fire emoji. Give me a yes. Give me your favorite emoji if you're ready to hear this training. Because the first thing that we need to understand, if we're going to dive into this big topic around pricing, because there's so many opinions out there about what the right price should be for things, right? If we're going to dive into this topic around money and pricing, the first thing that needs to happen, the first thing that you need to understand, and we kind of need to just get on the same page to make sure we're talking about the same thing. So first and foremost, the first mistake that I see coaches making before we even talk about raising your high ticket pricing is just that coaches are structuring their programs incorrectly, right? So what I see coaches out there pricing their program by looking at what other coaches are doing. How many of you, show of hands, have gone, you're trying to figure out your pricing and you've just gone and kind of perused around online just to see what other coaches are charging? Show of hands, how many people have done that? I just want to see, what I should be charging. What are the other coaches out there charging? We've all done it, so no shame here. I'll raise my hand. I've definitely done that, where I've gone and looked at, I don't know what to charge. Maybe I can just go see what the going rate is, right? So the issue with copying what other coaches are doing when you're pricing your program is, what are you doing? You're basically making yourself a commodity amongst all of the other coaches out there online. So you're not doing anything pricing-wise to make yourself stand out from all the other coaches. They're all charging the same price as you. And especially those of us in the health space, those of us who are healers, those of us who help people make a transformation in their life, When there's a lot of really inexpensive solutions out there for people that are trying to solve, a health problem or a fitness problem or heal yourself this way, there's so many inexpensive options that people could find, right? So if you're going to go play the price shopping game just to see what other people are charging, there's always someone who's going to be out there that has a lower price point. And the worst thing that you can do with your price is be the second cheapest option out there, because all of the price shoppers are going to choose the cheapest option. And now you've positioned yourself with those people. Am I right? Right? You don't want to position yourself. If you help your clients release weight and stop overeating, you don't want to position yourself with the Weight Watchers and the Jenny Craig or any other cookie cutter solution that someone could just download for free off Google. Right? You don't want to be positioned as one of those solutions that your clients have probably already tried and failed at, and price yourself amongst those people. So pricing the program needs to be based on, not what you see out there in the world, what all of the other people are doing and just following the trends and assuming, oh, they must be successful. This is what I see them doing. Right? This is what somebody else is paid for. That's a huge mistake. And the other mistake that I see coaches make in the beginning as well is just, I did this in the beginning. So when I opened my doors, I just put out my offer and I didn't really have my whole program together and I didn't really have a clear picture of how to do that and what everything should look like. So I just started putting offers out there to help people buy the session. Show of hands, how many of us have done that where we've just, or maybe you're doing it right now. I'm curious to hear if you're doing this right now where people can come and buy a session from you. How many people have an offer like that right now? Where people can come and buy session by session, right? So in other words, I was charging my clients to come to me for one session. So they would choose to sign up and buy a session from me, and then they could choose to buy another session. Or I would even see other coaches doing the same thing where they're charging by sessions, right? Or you can buy X amount of sessions and here's your discount, right? Here's the issue with pricing and positioning your program and packaging your program as sessions that someone is buying. Some of you guys might already know this. What do you think the problem is? What's the problem with offering someone sessions? Well, number one, here's the number one problem. It's insinuating that the client is just buying your time. It's insinuating that the client is paying for an hour of your time, essentially trading time for dollars. But your client isn't buying your time, right? They're buying the result that you can deliver, but charging $100 per session and then only offering them one session isn't offering them a result. If they want to buy just one session from you, when it really takes 12 sessions or 12 weeks to really make a habit change or a lifestyle change and fully integrate these results, it's doing them a huge disservice, right? It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bleeding artery in their life right now. There's no way that they can make a massive change if they only buy one session. So why would you offer that? Right? I don't know about you. I've never had a client come to me and work with me for one session, and then within 24 hours, they've had this total transformation in 24 hours. They made all the changes. Everything's fixed. Doesn't happen, right? Let me know in the comments if you've had someone that's completely made a complete change in 24-hour time span from one session. I'll buy you a Starbucks gift card or something, because you've got some special skills there that I've never heard of. right? So it's your moral obligation then to your clients. If you're the coach, offer the solution that your client really needs, not the solution that you feel like the client will like the most, not the one that you feel like will be the most comfortable for them to buy or the most comfortable for you to sell, right? If they just take one session, then that's less scary for me to say, here's one session. And it's also like, they don't have to really commit, you know, it's probably easier to sell, and I just feel more comfortable doing that. I want you to think about it this way. For those of you who are still doing it by the session, I really want to really shift this for you today. That's my goal. So let me know by the end of this if I started to shift your perspective on this. So I want you to think about this. Think of yourself as, so if you were a doctor, right? You're the expert, you're a doctor, and the patient comes to you with a problem that they have, and let's say they need antibiotics for this, okay? I'm not a doctor. I've never prescribed antibiotics to someone. This is just an example, okay? So let's just say you prescribe these antibiotics. They're actually really expensive, and unfortunately, but it's like this very rare specific antibiotic that they need. It's not covered under insurance, any of these things, but they really need it. It's going to be out of pocket. Just making up this example. But you're the authority, you're the doctor, you know with 100% certainty they need these antibiotics. And the patient says to you, you know what, doctor? Ooh, I'm gonna have to do that for 12 weeks. I don't know if I want to take those antibiotics for 12 weeks. You know what? Like, can I just take some today to go? And then, you know, I don't know if I'm going to buy any more after that. But as the doctor, you are under an obligation to tell the patient, hey, that's not going to do anything for you. It's literally not going to help you at all today. You might feel good. You might get a placebo effect from taking the antibiotics today. It's not going to help you. Your prescription is for 12 weeks. So one day is not on the table. I'm not going to sell you these antibiotics today for one day. It's my moral obligation to do what's in your best interest and not offer that to you, because it's not going to solve your problem. So charging by the session is essentially doing the same thing, right? Unless you're handing out Band-Aids or you're solving Band-Aid problems, which I don't think you are. I think most of you, if you ask yourself, you would tell yourself, listen, I'm here to help them make a change in their life forever. I want them to make a full change. I want them to have a whole new life after this. Can I get a yes if that's what you are after with your clients? So I think a lot of times this happens because we just see other coaches doing it. It's not that we've thought about it this way before. We're just doing what we've seen other coaches do. And there's a lot of coaches doing it. So be careful what you're modeling. Yeah, they aren't fully invested. They won't see results. Absolutely. Yeah. And then the other mistake that I see coaches run into when it comes to pricing their program, and one of the reasons they struggle with raising their prices, is that they're just massively undercharging, right? And this is just rampant across the board with a lot of coaches, right? It's almost a telltale marker of, you know, a newbie coach or someone who hasn't had clients yet, and it's happening, it's widespread right now. And the reason at the root, like if we're being really honest with ourselves, the reason this is happening is because you're afraid to ask for the value of your program. And it stems from a few things. Number one, it stems from fear of rejection. I'm intimately aware of this. Okay, I've dealt with this in the past. I used to actually avoid making offers, not even just discounting my prices. Sometimes I would just not make them an offer at all, which is the most selfish thing I could do. It's completely not in service to the client who needs the help, because I was afraid they were going to reject me because I didn't feel confident about my price, right? being socially rejected is one of our biggest fears as human beings. It's like being rejected from the herd, being outcast. So when we go to think about charging a higher price point and we think someone might reject it, as human beings, that feels like one of the most painful things we could go through, right? Oh, they mentioned something about them being on a tight budget right now, so I'm not even going to offer this. They're probably not going to do it anyway. It's going to be a waste of time to talk to this person. What that really means is I'm going to feel rejected if I make them an offer and they say no. So I'm sparing myself that negative emotion because I know I would feel that if they said no, and I'm just not making them an offer. To be on to your subconscious when you're doing these things. It's very much a self-defense mechanism. But some of you are doing this just by telling yourself, okay, like it's $2,000 program. That's the value. That's what I'm going to offer. And then you get on the consult and you're on the phone with them and you make them an offer and it's time and they say, okay, how much is it? And you freeze up and you choke and you just almost like have this out-of-body experience where you're not even in control anymore. And all of a sudden you're just blurting out, it's $200. How many of you have ever done that before? You got really pumped up, you're gonna charge the value of your program, and then you just sit scared and offer your old pricing, right? These are things that we do. It's part of just what makes us on this fun, amazing human journey of growth. And it's just kind of fun to notice that we have these patterns, right? But just know where it's coming from. It's coming from this, I wanna feel safe, and it feels too vulnerable to actually, ask for the value of what I actually do. Let me know in the comments if any of you have done that before. I definitely have done that, so that's why I'm kind of chuckling to myself. Let me know I'm not alone, that you guys have actually had that moment too, right? It's just fear. It's fear of judgment, right? What is somebody gonna think, right? What are they gonna think about me offering that? Fear of judgment sounds a lot like, what will people think of me for charging this much money? What will people think? People will think, who am I to be doing this? Who does she think she is? $2,000? $5,000? Who does she think she is? Right? That's the story we're telling ourselves when we're afraid of judgment. There's so many layers to this money conversation, right? So you have to be onto yourself when you're showing up to, a training on like, how do I raise my prices? First, we have to address what's really going on, right? Because if I were to hand you a number and tell you what I think you should be charging and you have this stuff going on, forget it, right? Who's gonna buy if you are afraid of your own price? Or if you don't fully think that they're gonna buy? If you're afraid of being judged or rejected, right? Or if they think it's too much money. Here's the other thing about if they think it's too much money, right? A lot of times when we're afraid that people will judge our price point and they think it's too much money, what do we also think that they're making that mean? That we're too much money. And inherently, that makes you think that, oh, you must think that you're worth more than you are. So what does that mean about you if you think you're worth that much? And so a lot of this is tied into your self-value and what people are actually buying. Everybody pause and hear me right now. What people are buying isn't you. So when they're saying no to you on your consult, right? They're not saying no to you. They're not saying yes to you. If they buy your program, what they're buying is the outcome that delivers. That transformation is what they're saying yes or no to. Does everybody hear me on that? Like, I don't want to keep moving forward unless we can all understand. So often we're afraid of what people will think about our price because we make it mean something about us, what we are worth. I don't know if I'm worth that much. It's not about what you are worth. It's about them. What are they worth? What are they investing into for them? This whole experience, the whole transformation that they're saying yes to is all about them. They're saying yes to themselves. This is the first day of their transformation. Be excited for them. Somebody says yes and invests into themselves at a high ticket level. I'm excited for them. I'm not afraid for them. I'm excited because guess what? They're saying yes to themselves. This is something they're doing for them. Doesn't mean anything about my value or lack of value if somebody says yes to their transformation or no to their transformation. Can I get an amen? Are you guys with me on that? This is so important. So many coaches aren't sure if they can charge high ticket because they're not sure if they're worth it yet. It's not about you. They're not investing into your worth. It's all about them. So if somebody says no to you, it doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't say anything about your prices. They're saying no to the future version of themselves. They're saying no to the possibility of everything that they said that they want. And so I would just get really curious about that and wonder why they're saying no to something that they just said they want so badly. Do they feel like they can't do it? Do they feel like they can't be successful? Do they think that they need to say no to that future outcome that they said that they want? And why? And here's the last reason that I will touch on today. And this is coming from love. This is coming from complete love, okay? But it needs to be said. This is another reason why coaches struggle to charge high ticket. And it's just because you're not walking the walk. So what does that mean? When I say not walking the walk, it means, you've got to really just draw that line in the sand, right? So you need to ask yourself, am I actually investing into my transformation? Have I walked that walk before? And it doesn't have to be the same solution that your client needs, but what area in your life are you growing? Are you transforming? Or have you stopped growing? Stop transforming? Where are you actively investing and believing in yourself the same way that you would expect your clients to do themselves? You cannot energetically expect to inspire someone to make that kind of investment that's outside of their comfort zone if you don't live your life in that same standard. That's out of integrity, and that energy will be felt by the client. There is no magic answer I can give you to overcome that. So many of you are believing that it's impossible to raise your rates, but it comes with the way that you treat money, the way that you spend money in your own life, the way that you feel about abundance and scarcity. So I want you to you don't have to put this in the chat, but I want you to just ask yourself, do a gut check with yourself. Have I invested in myself lately? Like, it's very, very difficult for the universe, whatever energy out there controls this dynamic of energy exchange, which is all that money is, for your customers to want to invest in you. If you have not invested in yourself, welcome to the world of being a business owner. Okay? So when you're an entrepreneur and you have a personal brand, it's like when you invest in yourself, you're investing into your business, which is what people are going to be investing into when they sign up to coach with you. They're also choosing to invest. They're also matching that energy frequency that you are living, that standard that you are setting, you attract those people to you now. You guys with me? This is so important. So I want to make sure that this is clear. Right? It's like that law of mirrors, right? Everything that you put out there, it will be reflected back to you. Okay? So if you don't think you have time to grow your business, guess what your clients are going to tell you about why they can't reach their goals? So important. They're going to tell you, I don't have time to do the stuff we talked about because I don't have time to work with you. All right? It's not even about the time, right? If you have a transformational offer like we talked about, you're not just charging them by the session, right? They're not investing with how much time they can spend with you on a session. They're investing into their transformation. And that happens every moment of the life that they are alive. Every moment that they're breathing is an opportunity for them to live into that transformation that they committed to with you. All right. And so the other thing I want you to understand is that if you have that transformational offer, right, you have to understand that your clients are not buying. When your clients invest with you, they're not investing into anything that they've invested in before. This is totally different. This is not a vacation, right? This is not a new car, not even close, right? The implications of what they're investing in are so much different, right? People invest money all of the times into things that they want. People spend money, people who don't have money spend money all the time on things that they want. People spend money on trip to the Bahamas. I've heard people literally say they didn't want to invest in health coaching because they were buying a $20,000 gas fireplace. Okay, I'm not kidding. People spend money on things that feel important, things that they think will make them happy, right? That $20,000 gas fireplace, that client believed that was going to make her happier. At the end of the day, being able to come home and turn on that fireplace and sit by her fireplace every night was going to make her less stressed. But more often than not, it ends up making you more stressed with less money, right? So just understand when they're investing with you, it's like nothing they've ever invested in before. When you have a transformational offer and it's at a premium price because it is transformational, your clients aren't investing into that. They're not investing into a one-time vacation or a new fireplace. They're investing into physical wellness, emotional wellness, and all of the ramifications of that on every area of their life. Do you guys believe that? Let me know in the comments. Give me a yes if you actually believe that in your body. When I say that, is that like a full body yes? I know the transformation that is possible for my clients. Because here's what I hear. I don't want to push them into anything. I don't want to pressure them. I don't want to make them do anything that they don't want to do. Right? This is your thoughts about your consults. I don't want to make them do anything that they don't want to do. And so many of you are missing the opportunity to really have an impact on that person's life in that moment, right? Because you're giving up on their possibility so quickly. So if somebody is taking the time out of their day to set up an appointment with you and they're getting on a call with you, it's because they have a specific problem that they're wanting help with. And it's probably the problem that you solve. It's probably the problem that you actually help people with in your program, right? And so they're on the phone with you to see if you can help them solve this problem. It's not like you're going to their house, and it's not like you're knocking on their door and you've got pamphlets that you're just shoving in their face saying, "Here, join my coaching program. Anybody want a pamphlet?" They're on a call with you because they're identifying they have a problem. They want to talk to you about it. But so often I hear coaches thinking about getting clients this way, like it's going door to door, and it's really holding you back. It's this huge roadblock. You think you're shoving pamphlets in people's faces. Right? There's a huge difference between offering a solution to something your client said they want, and now they're experiencing fear, which is irrational, and pressuring someone into doing something when they don't even have a problem in the first place. Their artery's not even bleeding. They don't have a huge problem in their life that it's causing, and trying to pressure them into thinking they have a problem so they can buy your coaching. Okay? That's out of integrity to do that. And I don't think anybody here on this call would ever do that. So when I talk to coaches about this and they're not making offers to people who don't, need their coaching, right? It's like their clients actually do need the coaching, right? They're not making offers to them because they've bought the story of the client. Imagine your client were to come to you and they wanted to make all these changes. They wanted to stop binge eating on sweets, and it was a huge battle in their life and they've struggled with it forever. And they come to you with their story about, well, this is what I did this week and this is why I chose to do it. I just chose to eat the whole bag of powdered donuts, and here's my, it was, I was really stressed out, and it was, my birthday weekend. So I just decided to just go do all these things. And you said, well, I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, so I'm just going to agree with them and let them go, come back to me when they're ready to get back on track with their goals. No, you're going to stand up for them. You're going to say, okay, I hear that happened, and we don't need to judge ourselves right now, but let's talk about what we said earlier. Remember what you said your goals were? Remember why you said you wanted to make these changes and really come from a place of compassion and start loving yourself and making these changes because it's the best thing you can do for you? Oh no, I don't want to push them though. I don't want to pressure them because they don't want that. Stand up for them, be their coach, right? But here's what happens, right? I would imagine every single one of you, if your client did that, you would stand up for them and you would remind them, right, on a coaching call. But what happens when money gets involved, right? What happens when it's money? Now we're talking about, we're open for business and money's involved. Right? Now it's no longer about the client. Now it's about the stuff we talked about earlier. Fear, rejection, getting a no, being judged, what that means about us and our self-worth if they say no to this new higher price point. We must not really be worth that much. What will they think about me? Right? So if you want to learn how to confidently raise your prices, you need to be able to get to a place where it's not about you at all. And it's all about the client. How many of you thought I was going to tell you that about raising prices? You want to be able to confidently raise your price, it can't be about you at all. It has to be all about the client. Which client is going to get the better results? The client that buys a $100 session from you, the $100 invested into their transformation, or the client who buys a $10,000 package and is $10,000 invested into their transformation? Who's going to get the better result? Right? I was even having this conversation with one of my colleagues. He's lost weight before. I think he's lost, it's either 100 or 200 pounds. And he was on a consultation with a health coach about buying a package. And when he originally was considering buying this package, it's a $10,000 health coaching package. okay? When he originally was on the call, it was for his partner, his girlfriend, and he was totally willing to throw down the $10,000 when it was for her because he knew she needed it. She had diabetes and a bunch of things going on. He was really worried about her health. Let's do this together. Let's do this package together. And then when the relationship ended and now he's on the call and it's about him and saying yes to something scary like myself, investing in myself, and now it's real. And oh, what if I can't commit to this? What if I don't lose the 100 pounds? What if I really don't make this change? What if I fail myself again? What if? Now what's the objection? Money. Money objection. I don't know. It's a lot of money right now. And the coach was it wasn't me, by the way, it was one of my colleagues. The coach was listening. And you know what she said to him? Remember when we talked earlier and you were ready to do this? Remember when you were ready to do this for your partner? And now that it's time to say yes to this investment and say yes to your transformation, now you're pumping the brakes. So what's coming up for you? And because she didn't back down and she didn't say, oh, I don't want to pressure him by challenging him on this because I have thoughts about this $10,000, she made it about him and his transformation and his investment into himself. He said, you are 100% right. That is exactly what I'm doing right now. And he made that transformation. He looks amazing now. He's down, I know he's lost more than 100 pounds now. I don't remember when he started with her. He's down over 100 pounds. He looks amazing. He's thriving. But the point is, how many of you, if you had a $10,000 package and you told the client it was $10,000 and now they're giving you a reason that it's money, how many of you would have just said, you know what? I don't want to make them uncomfortable by challenging them on that. They probably don't have the 10,000. It is a lot of money. Right? So what are we taking away from this? What are we taking away from this money conversation? What are we taking away from pricing? What have we learned about pricing? Let me know in the comments. Number one, when you agree with them, when they tell you that it's too much money and you shouldn't have raised your prices, right? When you decide someone can't afford something before they even get on the phone with you, or that it's bad for them, or while you're on the phone with them, you're deciding for them that they can or can't do it, you're doing the opposite of what coaching is meant to be about. You're not freeing the client of a situation they're already in that's very painful for them. You're limiting them by your own limiting beliefs about them, about what they're buying when they work with you, about their resourcefulness in this world, about the human being's ability to be committed and decisive and abundant and resourceful. You're not standing up for them. You're presenting, you're not presenting to them, maybe for the first time ever in their whole life, someone who sees potential in them for a completely different outcome than the one that they're having. You're not offering them that potential. You're giving them that same old version of their lives that they're currently viewing it from, right? You think you're protecting them. You think that you're saving them and protecting the relationship that you have with them. I know what you're thinking, right? But you're diminishing them and everything that they're capable of doing and who they're capable of being. What would that experience be like for you? If you always came from that place of believing when you're talking to a potential client about your program, about your coaching, about your new improved pricing, what it would be like. And from that place, 100% believing that your client can have a far greater life than what they're living if they want to, if they're willing. You have to condition a new story that you're telling yourself, right? Because if you just decide, hey, I'm just going to give this whole like high ticket coaching pricing thing a try. I'm just going to dabble in it. I see some people doing it. I'm just going to keep, but at the same time, I'm going to keep believing that nobody buys that stuff anyway. Nobody has money for a coach. Nobody pays that kind of money to coaches. People won't pay high ticket. You're not going to have a breakthrough. Nobody's going to buy it. So first you have to declare, right, that I'm going to go out there and that I'm going to make a difference in the world. I'm going to serve these clients. I'm going to solve these problems. And people they can't wait to work with me. Because they know that once they start doing this work with me, that is when the transformation truly starts. The day that they commit by investing in themselves, that energy shifts. That energy exchange is day one of their transformation. And I'm so excited for them. I'm pumped. I can't wait for them to start. You need to approach your new pricing with what I call it's done energy. Meaning, I've declared it. I full body believe in the value of this work, right? And start looking for evidence for that to be true, right? That's how you start cultivating that and attracting that over and over and over again. Can I get an amen? Is this resonating? Have I shifted at least one person to believing they actually can raise their rates? It doesn't have anything to do with looking at what your competitors are charging. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with their time and trading your time. It has nothing to do with you and how experienced you are and what your worth is as a coach right now. It has everything to do with the client. And them choosing to say yes and investing in their transformation. Am I right? Or am I right? So look, my friends, if you want us to help you with this, if you want us to help you create any of the changes that we've been talking about, even if it's just breaking a limiting belief that you know is holding you back around pricing, I want to extend an invitation to talk with you. Okay? I want you to go into the comments and type talk so you can book a time to speak with us. So we can go into all of this stuff, whether you haven't even tried to raise your prices yet, that's fine. Or if you haven't picked your price yet to begin with, that's fine too. Or maybe you've tried and you failed. Or whether the problem is that you're just not generating enough conversations with potential clients. Or maybe, the clients that you're getting aren't that great. Or the leads that you're getting aren't that great. Or maybe you're getting good leads, but you can't enroll them. Or maybe you are enrolling them, but it's just not, looking the way you want the delivery of your program to look, right? You're not satisfied with that. Either way, some piece of the coaching business is broken. Some piece of it isn't working. It doesn't matter what it is. We will chat with you about it. We'll talk to you about it. We will give you some laser specific feedback so that you can start getting some momentum right away. So you can start reaching the people that you're put on this planet to reach right now. People are hurting, people are suffering, people are dying, and they're in need of a coach right now to talk to. So if you want us to help you with that, go into the comments and type talk, and we'll help you out, okay? It could be figuring out exactly what that missing piece has been for you. Like, what is that one piece? It might be more than one piece. It might be a couple things. But whatever that one piece is that we can shift right away to begin to start making some huge, huge, huge changes into your business. It could be your pricing. It could be the way that you're generating leads. It could be your messaging. It could be your packaging. It could be the way that you're serving your clients right now when you're trading time for money. It could be one in a million things, right? So we will talk. We'll get clarity on what that is. So whether you're a good fit to work with us or not, we'll talk about that too. If we're a good fit to work together, if we're both a full body yes, we'll talk about that. If not, we're going to still give you something to work on either way, so that by the end of that call, you are going to have tremendous clarity on exactly what your next steps ought to be. So go into the comments and type talk, and we'll help you out. Alrighty, my friends, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for jamming with me on all things money, price, abundance. I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.